Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. So the news today is that Alien Worlds has announced 1 million users. So it's been the first blockchain game to hit 100,000 users. Actually, the first blockchain game to hit 30,000 DAUs, daily active unique wallets, certainly, and every number beyond that. So this is the graph from DappRadar of the kind of raw data of how many daily active unique wallets are playing Alien Worlds. So we're up to almost 300,000 wallets a day. So this is the uniqueness here is on a daily basis. So if you play Alien Worlds in a day, you're counted once. If you play it the next day, you're counted again. So it's not a cumulative uniqueness, but the figure of 1 million wallets in total is unique wallets in total. So Alien Worlds running on the Wax blockchain, very simple game. In fact, it's not even remotely finished. All you do at the moment is you can equip some NFTs. You can choose where to mine. You mine this token cryptocurrency called Trillium. You claim your Trillium and then you have to wait. Yeah, there's a cooldown period and then you just mine again. So at the moment, people are just mining this Trillium. There's loads of other things. There's kind of trying to do kind of governance on planets and if you own some the land in the game, you sort of earn some of the Trillium that people are mining. You get a kind of a percentage share of that. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's like PvP battles coming in, but a long way off, I think. And the game has really blown up, been incredibly successful in terms of this kind of growth curve. Partly because it's on the Wax blockchain, which is very easy to use, just an email password. Also, the game is very simple; it's an idle game, so very easy to bot. And I think this is sort of the big debating point. Really, is how many of these wallets are real people and how many are bots. But anyway, the growth's great. But I guess my skepticism is the game is not interesting. So why would anyone be doing this? Well, actually, at the moment, the token you get is say this Trillium token. The value I assumed would go to zero very quickly because basically people are mining this stuff out and then selling it. Who's buying it? That's the question. I don't know the answer to that. But the price did go down quite a bit, and now it's actually seemed to be going up again. So you can actually make money from doing this. So you just mining out this token and selling it off straight away. You can make tens of dollars a week. Depends on how many wallets you've got. It seems like anecdotally, individual people are playing with multiple wallets. Nothing better to do. And obviously, in some parts of the world, if you can make $10 a week, that's quite substantial. Obviously, you need a computer to run it on. People have computers and obviously phones and stuff. It's just a browser-based game. So, quick run through of what's going on in terms of the transactions. So I've done a video about this before, but just to kind of just to reiterate, this is what happened. This is the number of daily transactions, which you can see has a massive collapse when actually it was the Wax blockchain, I believe, rather than the game. But Wax were worried about their network being congested and spammed because you can see there's this incredible rise of transactions a day. This to me is suggesting bots. So no human being could probably do this amount of transactions in a day. Certainly not day after day after day. So this is bots just basically kind of yield farming, mining out all this Trillium and dumping it on the market. They put in a whole bunch of reCAPTCHA. So pretty much every transaction now you have to go through. So they're playing around with it actually. So it did come in that every transaction you had to do a reCAPTCHA. Now I think it's only one in every two. We can see here a big impact. Now the number of transactions is still going up because obviously the number of users the number of wallets is going up. So there's a big collapse here when basically a lot of the bots are taken out. This is probably being driven more by just kind of organic growth of new users, probably more humans than bots. But equally, probably over time, the people who are running bots get better at dealing with reCAPTCHA. And obviously, if they've halved the number of reCAPTCHAs as well, which obviously will make bots more, twice as efficient as they were at the bottom here. We can also look to see, which is probably more interesting, is the number of transactions per wallet. So we can see here before the reCAPTCHA came in, over 330 at a peak here, 330 transactions per wallet per day. That's bots. Not humans. We can see here what happens when reCAPTCHA comes in. Bomp, we're down to about kind of 30, and actually here we're down to 20. So there actually has been a drop off over time, even though the number of wallets is going up and the number of transactions is going up. at a different rate. So actually, this actually to me does sort of suggest that while I'm sure there are bots in the system, this is more driven by human beings, because this is about 20 transactions per wallet per day. I don't do anything like that. I mean, I probably do maybe 10, but I'm not sitting there. I've got other things to do with my life. But so 20 a day probably seems about right to me. And I guess that will continue while people can mine out this Trillium and then dump it on markets. I'd say I don't know who's buying it. Need to kind of look a bit more into that. I guess the other thing will be interesting to see, and why these graphs are useful to look at, is as more features get added into the game. So certainly as this kind of PvP element comes in, that will count as a transaction, a different sort of transaction. So at that point, the transaction per wallet will go up again, because you'll be mining, and then while you're waiting around to do more mining, you can play these other sort of games. And as more features come into the game, then this transaction per wallet number will go up. And this is much more useful to see, I think, than the this is sort of, on one level, this is easy to go, oh, this game's doing well. Look at that incredible growth. But you have to be very careful with anything on the blockchain that, what actually is that growth? Is it people? Is it bots? Well, it's going to be both. What's the ratio of people to bots driving this growth, and how's that changing over time? We get an idea from this sort of graph that we can see here. This is, at this point, all the growth has been driven by bots. At this point, probably much less of it's been driven by bots, but some bots will obviously drive growth at a much faster rate than human beings. But we can see here actually that the number of transactions is dropping off, even though the recapture has been eased. Worth just having a quick look at what Alien Worlds are saying themselves on Medium. So they're saying, over 1,000, over 1 million players, 200,000 in the last 24 hours. Actually a bit higher than that, I think. Blah, blah, blah. So a few things they're doing. This Shining. So this was one of the things you could do with your Trillium. You could it was 500 Trillium tokens, and you could basically merge your NFTs together. If you had 5 NFTs of the same type, you could basically merge them together and level them up. So you needed 5, and then you'd get 1, 5 at the same level, 5 at level 1, and then you'd merge them together and get 1 at level 2. Problem is, it's too expensive. They're saying the price of Shining is now prohibitively expensive. I mean, I don't really understand that, because the price of Trillium has gone down from what it was before all this sort of stuff started. So it's always been expensive, I think. Nothing to do with now. So anyway, they're rethinking this. Obviously the balance here is they want you to pay something for getting higher level NFTs that are more useful in the game. I don't know why people are obviously complaining about this sort of stuff. But the other thing is you do need Trillium. If all this Trillium is being mined out, you do need stuff to do, to spend it on, rather than dumping it into exchanges for other things. So I would actually make Shining more expensive if I was the game developer, but obviously I'm not. So another issue here is recapture, as we mentioned. So actually, they say here Wax has introduced recapture into the cloud wallet, not the developer, and this has impacted user experience. Yeah, it is. Obviously, Wax don't want the entire blockchain to be congested by one app, which is kind of what happens all the time. I mean, that's what happened with CryptoKitties and Ethereum back in the day. So they're fiddling around with this sort of stuff, and obviously there's 2 slightly different opinions on here, because Alien Worlds, I guess, I mean, maybe they don't want their stuff. You would think they wouldn't want their stuff farmed out, so they must understand there is, recapture is the best way of dealing with bots. They say they've also intensified their already extensive efforts to ban bots. I mean, quite what that means. I guess at that point you're banning individual wallets, I suppose. But as soon as you do that, you start banning real players. I mean, that's just how it goes. Teleport, that's just moving stuff around from different blockchains. And then the other thing with the Wax blockchain is you basically it's a proof of stake blockchain, but basically you get some of the Wax tokens staked for any wallet created. I guess another reason why Wax doesn't want loads of spammy wallets. I think they're up to 2 million Wax cloud wallets be created now. But if you are spamming stuff through, if you are a bot, you basically run out of a CPU allocation, so you have to then allocate more Wax to your wallet to do that. I mean, it says a CPU costing 2 Wax will give a fair amount of transactions. So a Wax at the moment is about 20 cents, so this is much less than $1 to do that. Most people won't do it because 1, they don't understand how to, and 2, they probably can't be bothered to get any Wax and blah blah blah. But anyway, it is interesting that we can kind of see a little bit behind the scenes what's happening here. What will be really important in the future is having 1 million players is great, obviously, but what are you going to do with it? Because at the moment the game is nowhere near finished, and I think there's a lot of pressure now on this game because so many people are doing it, using it, and presumably getting some sort of financial value out of it. I think they really need to. I mean, it's the biggest problem for blockchain projects. I mean, we've seen it with NBA Top Shop. You get so successful so quickly that basically the roadmap for the product kind of falls off the rails because you're spending all your time kind of firefighting, and then kind of a community kind of sentiment can go down very quickly. Certainly, if the price of the NFTs or the tokens goes down as well. So this is actually kind of a bit of a cautionary tale again for blockchain game projects, and again. This is one that again was fired up using Binance. I've done a previous video about the Alice, My Neighbor Alice game as well that also used Binance, and I just think Binance is just too powerful a tool for these games that aren't finished yet. But I think Binance, we've seen with things like Sandbox and Axie Infinity, was very useful for them to launch their tokens, but they were a bit further down in terms of development, and they had a strong community already, which could kind of withstand the pressure. Because basically, as soon as you put anything on Binance, you basically have millions of kind of hungry speculators going, oh, this is the next big thing, I'll buy it up, and then if it's not, they leave it very quickly. So you end up with you can end up with very big problems. So that's my kind of view on that. Thanks for watching. This is Blockchain Gaming World, where we spend our time looking at what's going on in the ever-changing, ever-moving world of blockchain games. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.